Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make NBA DFS content, prize picks content, all that good stuff. All these videos that get posted on the server right here, I'll have it linked down below. I make updates with all the news that comes out throughout the day. You can ask me questions leading up to lock about the slate, all that good stuff. So I'll have that link down below. And if you ever need to get a hold of me privately, you can get a hold of me on Twitter right here. And without further ado, if you are looking for more in-depth content where I go over these slates much more in depth from this video, and I give you guys cores and all that good stuff, prize picks content, sportsbooks content, I'll have my Discord link down below. But let's go over my lineups from today. Played on FanDuel. I've been playing on FanDuel a little bit. We'll go there. Always go light on Showdown, guys. Do not play any volume. Barely play any volume at all. But yeah, FanDuel, it went well. I don't do cores for FanDuel, but like I said, I've been playing some FanDuel of late. Just trying it out again. I started on FanDuel, and then I stopped because the contest got bad. But yeah, I had some money on there, so why not play some FanDuel? Cashed on FanDuel, like I said, didn't have a core for FanDuel, but good day over here. My only lineup that did not cash was this one. Don't know what it was. I was basically, okay, Max Struess, disgusting. And then Draftkings had a good day. My core on Draftkings today was Donovan Mitchell, Paolo Banchero, Wendell Carter Jr. So pretty much the three best core on the slate, like the best point per dollar values that scored on the slate outside of Caris LeVert. But it doesn't stop there because my flag plant in GPPs today was Caris LeVert. And I can show you guys. I do like a flag plant section right here. Caris LeVert was my flag plant today in GPPs. We had some nice days in Discord. 9% owned Caris LeVert. He was 5% in some contests. Like the core just absolutely shattered it today. So hopefully you guys had a good day. If you did play, and if you didn't play, we do have a 2-game slate tomorrow that we will go over here in a minute. But I'm going to make it quick, guys. As always, if you want the more in-depth stuff, I'll have Discord link down below. All right, let's start off with Minnesota, Denver, just because just watching some film, so I want to get that, what's the word I'm looking for? Talk about it while it's fresh in my brain. All right, so looking at the rotation for Minnesota in game 1. Jaden McDaniels, 40 minutes. Going to happen again, 100%. Anthony Edwards, 42. Would expect that to happen again, 100%. Rudy Gobert, 35. Not sure if he got into foul trouble or not, but 35 does seem a bit low. Mike Conley, 31. I do think he plays a bit more in this game. Cat, 30. I do also think he plays a bit more. He kind of got benched in the fourth because Naz Reid was playing really, really well. And Nikhil, 22. That can fluctuate. He could play 20. He could play 27. I wouldn't be surprised. Then you'll see some slow-mo. That's about it, mainly. So would expect something pretty similar outside of... I think Mike Conley probably plays a little more. And I think Cat, obviously, is going to play a bit more as well. And Naz Reid, most likely less if both bigs stay out of foul trouble. With that being said, I mean, Anthony Edwards, not going to say no if you want to play him. Malone, Denver, I mean, I think they're going to do a pretty good job adjusting to Anthony Edwards here, but still firmly in plays a spend up. I think he's a really good spend up. Him versus Brunson, it's very, very close. But, you know, solid rebounder, good defender, can rack up stocks, stuff in the stat sheet. Probably going to shoot the ball 25 plus times. It's the playoffs. 9K. He's too cheap. So he looks like a really solid spend up to me. And the guy I'm really high on here is Rudy Gobert at 7K. I would expect close to 40 minutes in this game, assuming he does stay out of foul trouble. Going to get you a double-double. Also can rack up blocks. Good rim protector, right? Going to play big minutes. Just a really high floor with the ceiling when he gets you that double-double. So 7K for Rudy Gobert I think is really, really solid. Like him quite a bit. Karl Anthony Towns, it's really going to depend on what his ownership is going to be tomorrow. If he is chalky tomorrow, I want absolutely nothing to do with him. I just don't. Don't look at this green thing here. It's not as good of a matchup as this green thing says. He's very, very foul prone as well. I don't know if you guys are watching the game, but absolutely the dumbest fouls I've ever seen in my entire life. And I with the amount of foul prone risk, if he is chalk, I just want nothing to do with it. Now, if he's lower owned, I'm good with it just because the ceiling is absolutely massive with him. He had a really good third quarter and then kind of quiet down and then didn't really get into the fourth quarter besides the last couple minutes. So ownership definitely going to depend on what I want to do with Cat tomorrow. I think if he's chalky, I think he's a really bad play. Now we get into Mike Conley, who I think is one of the better mid-range plays in the slate. I really like Mike Conley tomorrow. I think 31 minutes. I think they need to play him more. That second unit without Mike Conley on the floor is just absolutely awful. He's stuffing the stat sheet. He has the ball in his hands a ton. Double-double, definitely a bit of an outlier. But, I mean, yeah, shot the ball pretty well. Definitely a bit of an outlier as well. But he's probably going to score like 25 to 30 fantasy points, which 5.4K, really, really solid. And I think he probably plays, like I said, a bit more. I wouldn't be surprised by that. That second unit was god-awful without Mike Conley on the floor. So yeah, I really like Mike Conley. I don't think he'll be owned either. Or he'll pick up some ownership. I don't think he'll be like giga chalk, though. So I'm really, really high on Mike Conley. McDaniels at 4.5K, I think is decent. Just the sheer amount of minutes he's going to play while he's out there does make him a solid value play. He's not going to do a ton while he's out there, but like I said, going to play 40 minutes. He's 4.5K. He allows you to spend up elsewhere. Yeah, he's a really solid value. Not like, look, I'm not going to go out of my way to play McDaniels, but like the amount of he helps with building lineups, yeah. And I like Naz Reid. We always know with Naz Reid, he's probably going to play 15 to 18 minutes if Gobert and Cat stay out of foul trouble. But if one of them gets into foul trouble, there's a good chance Naz Reid does push for over 20 minutes here. 4.3K, really good point per minute guy off the bench as well. Has power forward eligibility too. So I think Naz is a pretty solid value. NAW had a really bad game last game, but we know the minutes should be there for him. I would expect anywhere from 20 to like the high 20s. Anywhere, yeah, like around 20, could get up to high 20s depending on how he's playing as well. He has a ceiling, usage. I would say in that Phoenix series was a bit another kind of bit of an outlier, but point per minute definitely pretty bad. But 4.1K I think is solid. I think he'll probably pick up some ownership tomorrow. So there's definitely some pretty good value on this Minnesota side. Kyle Anderson, I don't think I get to. I'd much rather play NAW or Naz Reid or McDaniels. And like I said, I really like Mike Conley. I really like Gobert. We'll see what the ownership is on Cat. And then Anthony Edwards, I think it's really, really solid. All right, so Anthony Edwards, I believe, was on Jamal Murray. Then McDaniels on Michael Porter Jr., which was interesting. But without further ado, I think Jokic is your best spend up on the slate. It's Jokic. It's 2-game slate. He's going to score the most fantasy points on the slate. That's very, very valuable. Raw points matter on these short slates. So Jokic does look phenomenal at 11K. I absolutely love him. If you find the value to fit him in, I think that's a pretty good idea. So I love Jokic here. I don't want anything to do, kind of like Cat, I don't want anything to do with Jamal if he's popular tomorrow. I just don't. He's clearly hobbled. It was doing a good job on him as well. He had some miracle shots in the second half. But yeah, if he's popular, I am not going to be playing him. If he's low owned, I think he's a good play. Just because I think everyone's going to be a bit worried after last game. We've seen in the playoffs just massive, massive recency bias. If someone has a bad game, they'll be unowned the next slate. So if he's low owned, which I expect him to be, I actually think he's a solid GPP play. But if he's going to pick up some ownership, similar to Cat, especially with Jamal being hobbled, I want absolutely nothing to do with it. So another guy, like ownership is definitely going to tell a tale on what I do with Jamal Murray tomorrow. And ownership going to tell a tale on what I do with Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon. I was very, very high. I told everyone yesterday on the showdown, I told everyone I wanted absolutely nothing to do with Aaron Gordon. He was one of the highest owned plays on the showdown slate. I told everyone I wanted MPJ over Aaron Gordon. That worked out massively. Just massively. But if everyone's going to go to MPJ over Aaron Gordon tomorrow, I'd rather just play Aaron Gordon. Especially with McDaniels being on MPJ as well. Now, Minnesota could switch that up. We don't know. But MPJ definitely, if we're not regarding ownership, MPJ definitely the higher ceiling. He's played much better. I would expect close to 40 minutes again from him. Definitely the better play straight up. But I think they're also pretty similar. Aaron Gordon, probably the higher floor. But I also didn't like what I saw from Aaron Gordon yesterday. Kind of just sat in the corner, which was very, very frustrating. But 6.2K, 6.5K respectively for both. Like, they don't stand out to me at their price points. They're fine as like filler pieces to me, but definitely not going to go out of my way to play either of them at those price points. KCP is fine at 4.6K, similar to like McDaniels, going to play big minutes, has a ceiling when he's hitting his shots. This is a really bad matchup for him. So like, I honestly think I prefer McDaniels, but yeah, playable. And then I don't know if I get to much else. Reggie got extended because of Murray. He didn't play alongside Murray at all. I actually cored Reggie on the showdown. Braun got 20 minutes, but I guess if you need a dart, it's okay. Peyton Watson to be in the rotation. Only 6 minutes, bit concerning. So yeah, I was a bit surprised by that. I thought Braun would play a lot less. So yeah. To move on to the Pacers. So at the end of the series, beginning of the series, you saw Isaiah Jackson in the rotation. And then the last game of the series, you did see Isaiah Jackson in the rotation, but Miles Turner got benched. And then Obi Toppin was getting all the backup 5 in the beginning of the end of that series. I'm sorry. I think there's a chance you could see Isaiah Jackson in the beginning of the series. I don't know if I'm 100% sold that Obi Toppin is just going to get all the backup 5 minutes going up against the Knicks. I think more often than not, it's probably going to happen, but I do think there's a small chance you could see Isaiah Jackson get some backup 5 tomorrow. We'll see. He's probably not DFS viable, but just thought I'd throw that out there. And if he does, it would be a downgrade. It would be Toppin. But that being said, let's go over the top guys. I think Halliburton and Siakam are both pretty good. I think I prefer Halliburton to Siakam, but I think both are solid. I think both are too cheap. The Bucks did a really good job adjusting to Siakam late in that series. We'll see what the Knicks do tomorrow with him. Really bad spot though. But yeah, I do prefer Halliburton to Siakam personally. Miles Turner at 6.7K. I mean, if he's going to continue to get his mid-30s minutes, I think last game was definitely a bit of an outlier. He just played really badly. I think normally he's going to get over 30 minutes, probably close to 35. He's still too cheap at 6.7K if he gets those minutes, which I think he would. So I do like Miles Turner there. I do probably prefer Gobert to Miles Turner though at a similar price point. And then I like the value here once again. Nembhard, Nesmith, Tina McConnell, I think are all decent values. I think Nesmith's probably my favorite. Nembhard right behind him. But pretty vanilla. You could flip. I think both are pretty good. Nesmith should play over 30 minutes. Has a ceiling when he's hitting his shots. Nembhard's been phenomenal for this team. I would expect him to continue to play high 30s minutes here. Production definitely been a bit of an outlier if you ask me, but yeah, 5K, going to play big minutes, statue stuffer. I think he's really solid for value. Select both Nembhard, both Nesmith there for value. Tina McConnell should play mid-teens minutes. Also, another outlier performance here. He actually played a bit for Halliburton because he was playing so well. But statue stuffer, I would expect mid-teens minutes to 15 to 18 minutes, 4.5. Wish he was still 4K, but we know he's a really good point per minute guy off the bench. Clearly has a ceiling. I think he's firmly in play for value. And then we get to Obi. I think Obi is fine for value at 4.2K as well. Wish he was still at this price point, but another playable value. We'll see what his ownership comes in at tomorrow. All right, moving on to the Knicks. So Brunson at 9.5K, I think looks great. Their peripheral stats aren't going to come as easy up against the Pacers as they would going up against these Sixers. Pacers give up the least amount of assists to opposing point guards. They do a really good job at that, but he's going to play the entire game. He's 9.5K. He is pretty much this entire offense. So he looks great up at the top at 9.5K. Josh Hart, another one where I don't think the rebounds are going to come as easy going up against the Pacers. The Sixers with Joel Embiid on the court are just god-awful at giving up rebounds to opposing power forwards. I don't think they're going to come as easy. He still has double-double upside, right? He's a statue stuffer, going to get you a bunch of assists as well. When he hits his shots, he really has the ceiling. His floor is 30-plus fantasy points, right? 7.1K, the price came down. Going to play the entire game. Yeah, very solid. OG Anunoby, I think, is decent as well. Going to expect big minutes. They need defense out there as well. And then we get into the hot hand stuff. So Dante McBride, they're going to go with the hot hand between these two. It's a fact. We saw Dante get hot last game, and Miles McBride just barely played. Dante played all 48 minutes. Miles McBride played 9 minutes. Miles McBride ran extremely, extremely hot last series. He did. Dante DiVincenzo ran extremely, extremely cold last series. Like, he had his worst games of his career in that series. So, Sam's going to go with the hot hand between both. I would not play both together. Dante, much higher ceiling. I'd much rather play Dante. And if he's low owned, I like him quite a bit in GPPs. McBride, if he's chalk, I want absolutely nothing to do with him. If he's low owned, you can take darts there. But like I said, going to be a full hot hand approach with these two. And then Hartenstein Robinson, I think normally you're going to get around 30 minutes for Hartenstein. And then you're probably going to get like 15 to 18 minutes, whenever Hartenstein isn't on the court, Mitchell Robinson to place like 15 to 18 minutes for Mitchell Robinson. I really like Hartenstein at 5.2K. I think he's too cheap. And then Mitch Rob is firmly in play at 4K as well. So yeah, tough slate here in my opinion. There's a lot of plays that look pretty similar. I think personally for me, what does Jokic leave you? Like, if we go to Jokic, I don't think too many people are going to be able to get to Jokic tomorrow. Like, I really like Mike Conley. If we get like Jokic, Mike Conley, what does this mid-range leave you? You can make it work. You can definitely make it work for sure. Might be tough though. But yeah, I think that's going to be it, guys. Hopefully you guys had a good day. If you didn't play NBA, we got a slate tomorrow, and I will talk to you all in the next video.